and we'll see how my sanity fares. Hi everyone, and welcome to Fiber Dragon episode 26. My name is Jessica. I'm also known as Aikika here on YouTube, and I'm known as Aikika Dragon on Ravelry. This is my little space where I like to talk about all things that I craft with fiber. That includes my knitting, my crocheting, and now it also includes my cross stitch. So if that sounds interesting to you, come on and let's get into the good stuff. So everything is basically where it was at last week. Let me explain. So, oh gosh, I messed with the camera settings and I am blue. I hope I don't look blue. Anyway, I'm wearing a blue shirt, but my skin looks blue. What's happening? I'm hoping, I have a birthday coming up, so I'm hoping I'm gonna get a new camera. Hoping as in that's probably what I'm gonna do. Okay. My first work in progress is my mermaid blanket I threw my notes to the side. I'm in a mood today. Okay, my mermaid blanket by Angie Hartley. This has been on my needles for 45 days. And let's see how I did. So I told you last week that I thought I was getting close to where I would start the decreases. So I took this pattern with me when I went to the knitting group, figuring I was going to work on it, but I forgot that my pattern is on my computer and not on my phone. And because normally I get my patterns through Ravelry, but this pattern I bought directly from the seller, I think from Etsy, but it could have been from somewhere else. And I have it downloaded on my computer. So I took it to the knitting group thinking I was going to look up what I needed to do, and I didn't have it. So you'll notice I have done next to nothing on this one this week. I mean, I got a little bit in, but and then I kept forgetting to check the pattern when I was sitting at my computer, and I kept worrying that I needed to start the decreases. Turns out I'm not even close to where I need to start doing the decreases. So I could have been working away and gotten so far on this, but I didn't. So therefore, me being able to touch every single project every day goal, whoosh, right out the window like it never even happened. So that just started this kind of rock rolling of, well, I didn't get to do that one, so now I'm not going to do this one, and it just turned into a whole thing. So you can see I did get a little bit of work in once I realized I had a long way to go, but I just didn't get that far on this one. And it really did start a whole, I realize there's a drop stitch back here. Oh, I see what I did. I did a whole thing where it really did steamroll into not getting work done on my projects. It is crazy how one minor setback can really just throw everything off. So yeah, goals. What goals? I don't remember any goals. Do you? Obviously didn't reach them. Part of me wishes, because I do this back and forth flat, part of me wishes there is an in-round version of this pattern, and I wish I had done it. I feel like this would be going a lot quicker if I had. And it's not that I dislike purling, because I think purling's just fine. It just, I think it would have gone faster. But that's okay. It's still lovely, and it will get there. And now I know I have a long ways to go before I get to the decreases, so I can just plug away on it. I am recording this a day late, so I am actually going to the knitting group today, and hopefully I will get some work on it. I'm going to move the progress keeper, and hopefully So this upcoming week is going to be pretty crazy. My kids are going to be on spring break and everything's going to be out of whack. So I have no idea if I'm going to be able to record next week. I have no idea if I'm going to work on my projects very much next week. That's just the way it is. But we'll see. But I am taking this, it's all tangled up in the bag. I am taking this with me to the knitting group, so it should get a good hour of work on it at a minimum. I would like to touch it every day, get some work on it done. We'll see how this week goes. All right, my next project is my Brunette Nephew's Musselburgh hat. This pattern is by Ysolda Teague, and let's see how I did on this one. So therefore, since I was like, I keep doing this where the progress keeper's in a really bad spot. Since I didn't touch the other pattern every day, I don't need to touch this one every day, and I didn't. I made some decent progress though. You can see the purple, you can see it pretty well now. Oh, that's interesting. From the camera, I didn't notice this when I was knitting it, but you can see the pooling happening. I think this is definitely gonna turn into a spiral. Spiraling, which that's fine, whatever. I have a ways to go, obviously. Well, I don't know if it's obvious to you. I don't know if you know this pattern. To me, it's obvious, but I have a ways to go before I start the decreases. So, like I said, this is kind of my walk to school, my wait around and do things knit. So I don't know how much I'm actually going to have the opportunity to touch on this week. My upcoming goal was to try and get another 3 inches done because that's going to get me fairly close to the decreases. Still not quite there, but close. Puts me within that push because I am getting the itch. I want to start a new project. I'm feeling kind of over these projects. It's been a while that these have been on my needles. And part of that I recognize is because I've been so distracted doing the cross stitch, but that's just the reality of it. So that's how I feel. So I think I'm going to try and get the 3 inches on this one and get this one done. That would feel pretty good, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes with me not walking to school. There's just not that opportunity. Let me move this progress keeper. I am happy with the progress that I made on that one because I really didn't dedicate any time to it, so that really feels like, oh, I got quite a bit done for not putting much effort in. It was really cute today. There is a under 1-year-old that we walk with in the mornings, and she is usually very interested in my knitting, and I don't know if it's because the needles are kind of shiny and they catch her attention or what it is. So I let her hold the knitting needles today, and it was just so cute because I was like, well, now you're a knitter. So that was fun. I didn't tell you any of the details of either project. Again, I am on fire today. Okay. So this one, I am using DK yarns in the colorway Red Bellied Snake, and I'm also using Malabring Machita yarn in the colorway of Lotus. This has been on my needles for 36 days, and yeah, let me give you the information about the Mermaid blanket. That is, oh gosh, Yarn Bee Sugarwheel Cotton Sparkle in Let It Go Flamingo and Twirls at Twilight, and the Mermaid blanket has been on my needles for 45 days. This has been on my needles for too long. I should be about done with this. Part of me is also coming to the reality of that I knit slower than I used to. However, this is extra slow because I just haven't been dedicating my attention. I can't blame that on anything that's changed. That's been me. I just haven't been working on it. So the thing that I have been working on and that I did meet my goals on is my cross stitch. So I'm First, before we get into it, I am going to say I did learn I have to take a picture in advance of my progress picture. So this one will probably be blurry again, because by the time I realized it, I was already past the point that I could take a picture. I had already done a bunch of stitches. So, sorry for the blurry picture. But I am working on Curiosity by Amy Brown. This is what it will look like. I am doing this on forbidden fiber fabric in the color Antique Rose. It is a 28 count even weave. Ooh, the sunlight's making this tricky. It is 28 count even weave. I am doing 1/1 full cross, and it is going to be in all the called for DMCs. And this is where I was before. I'm so sorry, it's probably blurry, but I've learned this lesson, and the next one won't be. I've already taken a picture of my progress. And this is where I am now. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's blurry. We're doing our best here. Excuse me. So I did reach my goal. I have stitched this week 2,371 stitches. That's amazing. I'm officially at 5.1% complete. I'm 5% done. My blob is a bigger blob. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You know what I might do? I'm going to pop the picture up while I'm talking about it. I'll still hold this, but I think you're going to see what I'm talking about better from the picture. I'll actually set this down. So I'm going to pop the picture in, and I'm going to say the leaves on this project are a little bit trying. They're extremely confetti heavy, and you can kind of see it down in that bottom corner a little bit. I will say the nice thing about this pattern is the way that the artwork is. You get leaves and then a little bit of something else pretty much everywhere that you're working, where you have leaves anyway. So the part of the dragon, the tail, has some block chunks. It still has some confetti, but it's nothing like the leaves. So I feel like, first of all, blue is my favorite color. Second of all, it's in block chunks. And third, it's a dragon, which is the part I'm most excited to stitch. So every time I get to a part in the dragon part, they're beautiful, but they're not my favorite part. They're not what I'm looking forward to stitching. And they're so confetti heavy that it is such a slog to get through these leaves. So I am really looking forward to being able to get to the main body of the dragon, but I think that's going to be a while. So the way I'm working it is I'm doing it by pages, and I'm doing it diagonally. But I also extend into other pages to finish a thread. So I started in this corner, and then I did this page, which is complete. Yes. And now I'm working on this page down here, which is a mini page, because this section is just mini pages, how the pattern worked out. And then I will come back up here and start working on the leaves up here again, and then move that way, if that makes sense. So the leaves, you could see on the top left area, are starting to get more sparse, which is great in that there's less leaves that I have to stitch, but I also have to be very careful in where my threads are going behind the fabric, because if I carry them over the areas where there is no stitching, there is a chance they would be very visible behind it. So I am going to show you the back. For those that stress out about messy backs, you might want to look away, because I just carry my threads across. So I do have a messy back, but I'm going to show you the back so that I can show you what I'm talking about. And maybe I'll take a picture of this if it's not very clear. It's not. I'll just take a picture and show this to you. So this side, nope, doesn't matter. Okay. So you'll notice that there are areas that are completely empty, and that is because, yeah, that's too blurry. Picture coming in hot. There's no stitching there. So I have to carry the threads up the vine of each leaf and do the leaf colors, go back, carry it up the vine, do the leaf colors. So we'll see. That's going to be like my next main area. We'll see how it goes. I don't believe there's any dragons in the next page. It's just leaf, and we'll see how my sanity fares. Oh boy. So I am proud of myself. I did meet my goal. I actually exceeded my goal of 250 stitches a day. Now, I didn't actually get 250 stitches every day. There were days that there was one in particular, couldn't do pretty much any crafting because we were so busy. And I think I only got 50 stitches in that day. Maybe I snuck in 100 by the end of the night. So it was, but then another day I was able to make up for it. So I did it though. I made one of my 3 goals. Well, that's why they're goals and not, you know, it's something to reach for. It's not something I'm always going to achieve. So that's my crafting. I'm going to move next into my gaming, where I am. The first one is Pathfinder Bloodlords, where I'm playing Bruxa Craft. She is a witch/wizard. We did come across what we believe to be the final hag in this storyline. The story does continue, but in this particular storyline, we were in her house. I realized they had a game that I wasn't able to make it to, so they had progressed, and they waited for me, which was very thoughtful of them once we got to the house. So I did get to help with that. I am mostly a support character, so the hag had cast slow. Well, she cast a spell, and the effect was many of the characters got slowed, which means they couldn't take as many actions as normal. But I had haste, so I was able to cast haste on them, which at least at the bare minimum gave them their normal amount of actions, and then when or if they succeeded their saving throw, they were able to get an extra action. So that was nice. I also have this really funny spell that's I can't remember what it's called, but it's Albatross's Curse or something like that. It's a really funny spell if you think about it, and I don't know why it's available, but anyway, there's an albatross that you cast, and it just kind of flies around and distracts the bad guy, so you get a +1 to hit the bad guy. Well, they have to either use an action to get rid of this magical albatross, effectively kill it, and they could get cursed by it and have something really terrible happen, or they can just leave it there and we get the +1 for the whole fight. They also, if they do get rid of the albatross, there is a chance that nothing bad will happen, and then the spell is just gone. So, and I think I have a pretty low spell DC, so it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Yeah, so that is Bruxa Craft. We did defeat the hag, we headed out, and then our characters were able to level up. So we spent the rest of the session leveling up our characters, which does not make for a very exciting stream, but it's actually really good for the players because we have time to do it. So that was good. And then the next game is our Dungeons and Dragons game. It is a homebrew world where I play Charmaine Smithy, a fighter. And we ended up traveling. We found the child that we were looking for that was being held for using magic, which is against the law. And we found her. We were very sneaky and ended up releasing all of the magical people, which ended up being 3 people that they had captured in the night, and we escaped. And the child was like, oh, but my friend, we have to go rescue my friend that had escaped off into the forest. So we're following her to go help this person, and it ends up being this, I don't know, we got sucked into the crystal, and it ends up being this weird ethereal plane where there's a giant crystal eating magical people. And I don't know what's happening. So you have, and all the magical people feel compelled to let this creature eat them. So they sacrifice themselves and it destroys it. But there was no way to leave unless it let you. And then, but the only way it would let you is if it obtained enough magic by eating. So one of the 3 people we rescued ended up being sacrificed, I guess. And we were all able to leave, but it was really morally conflicting, I guess. But the magic users are all compelled to do so. So, yeah. I think our big bad guy is a crystal? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, that was what we did there. I did not have to make any of the saves against the compulsion because I don't use any magic. So, that's good at least, I guess. And that was my gaming, and as far as that goes, the next thing I'm going to talk about is my reading, and the only thing I am reading right now is The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. Immortalists. This is about a family of people that when they are younger, they go to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller is able to tell them all when they're going to die and what they do with that knowledge, I guess, sort of. I don't know if it's what they're really doing with it, but just the life that they're living, knowing, I don't know. It's not like they're actively, I guess some of them are. Anyway, there are some graphic scenes, so just be aware of that. I have been very interested in this. The first 2 characters are very gregarious and outgoing, and I've made it through them, and now I'm into the second 2 characters, which are more reserved. So we'll see what I think of this by the end. It is due next week, so it's a library book, so I do have to, my goal is to finish this book before I have to return it, because I would like to not extend it, because I want a new one. So that's everything for me today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you for those that have subscribed. Thank you for watching. It's a real pleasure getting to chat with you in the comments, and I really appreciate you. So happy crafting, happy gaming. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.